I don't know. I think the J. Cole thing that's been happening recently, bro. I feel like I should just make my stance a lot more clear. I be trying my best to still acknowledge dude, but at the end of the day, I can't act like I'm going back to the music. Somebody unironically sent me a message and said all this shit about Drake and Kendrick and shit like that, but J. Cole steady on the sideline making bangers. And I'll be honest with you, bro. 2 words, no hate, that I've never heard in the same sentence uttered in human like life ever to me was J. Cole and banger. I don't know hater shit. Nobody has ever said that to me in my life. I guess Middle Child is a banger. My point isn't to say J. Cole don't make good music. Fire Squad is a good song. Banger is crazy. And that's when it got to me, like, we're letting people put J. Cole in conversation again that he don't belong in. That's why the reaction when he be saying shit be so strong. And niggas like have the most emotional response humanly like imaginable when you say that the nigga not really saying shit. Like I fuck with the last song that he came out with, Cloud, but I'm not gonna pretend like I'm gonna go back to the song. He does this all the time. He come back with some pretty good raps on a song that you never go back to, but his fan base feel empowered because he obviously can rap, but never says anything of substance, and then you keep moving. The world keep on spinning. It keeps happening. And I don't know how he keeps fooling them. And sometimes he be fooling me too. He grabbed me because he got good raps. He got good flows. He knows how to make music that sounds appealing. Banger is crazy, but music that's appealing. You listen to it, you like, yo, this nigga can really spit. You ever go back to it? No. Speaking for myself personally. I don't want to put words in nobody's mouth. But he does this all the time. You making him sound like Logic? No, the difference is Logic struggled to put together bars that were like shocking. J. Cole got some lines where you'll pause the song and be like, yo, nah, that was hard. Let me hear that again. Logic struggles with that. Punchline rapping and just even putting together good, you know what I'm saying, similes and shit like that. I just don't think that's his strong suit. On top of that, his concepts are very, like, I won't say high schooly, but they're just so easy to get behind. Like, nothing about Logic's music is provocative, controversial, or thought-provoking. But I still fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? I grew up with his music. Not gonna act like he's not a bad, or like, I'm not gonna act like he never rapped well, because he definitely has. He's a good technical rapper, too. But even getting to J. Cole, it's just like, dude, you do this too often. Where you can rap, and then, you know, just don't go back. Like, nothing about his music is sticking. And I don't know what the reason for that is. I don't know if it's this attitude now that he's going with that I don't have to participate in shit that makes a lot of people look at rappers as great, which is putting together controversial topics or maybe saying something that really sparks up conversation or discourse at any point. Like, he's never done that. About the most people were shocked by J. Cole was when he did Grippy. And that's literally because of how bad the song was. I'm saying most people may hear J. Cole in the background or passing by. But purposefully interacting with bro's music, I feel like is beyond a lot of people. That's why when I heard the banger comment, I'm like, dude, what world are you living in? Because I've never seen nobody say that or play that. No Role Models was a fluke, to be honest. I don't think that. I think J. Cole definitely had a pop era where he was trying to make radio records. After that fan reaction under my comments on the last video that I did for J. Cole, I really need to reiterate the point that maybe I'm giving this nigga too much credit. And if you gonna say I'm hating on J. Cole, I'ma really make it be known that this nigga don't got it. The music that sticks with you and don't just fall off. I have to really reiterate that point then. If I'm gonna be called a hater regardless, let me make sure that I stand on how I feel about bro's music and say that it's nothing gravitational about this music. Nothing is pulling me in. It's cool. He got skill. That's it. Nothing more. That's it. That's all I see about dude. And the attitude that he's displayed across the beef and the fans have allowed him to get away with, putting his toe in the rap beef and then taking his toe out and then acting like he's above the beef as if he never got peer pressure and as that never contributed to why people are talking about him in the way that they're talking about him now. I'm off that. That gaslighting shit is corny. The whole, oh yeah, I was always on my own peaceful shit. That shit's weak as fuck. That's lame. You put out a song, nigga said you reek, you deleted it. Now you acting like it didn't happen, and your fans are gaslighting anybody who dare bring it up again. even though it didn't even happen more than a year ago. Stop it. It's weird. Don't act like you're above the whole concept of what makes some rappers great in the first place, which is going against people in competition. Say whatever you want to say about Drake. He participated. Nah, never mind. I'm not even about to do that. Not even about to do that. Because he's the first rapper to actually file a lawsuit over the diss record. Nah, I'm not even about to do that. I'm one of the people, like I said, I don't think that rap beef needs to exist for you to make entertaining music. I don't. I'm one of those people that's on the side where it's like, we don't need this to make good shit. But I'm not gonna begrudge niggas that are engaging in what traditionally has set people apart in the best rapper conversation when they go head to head and act like it's not something that should be considered when you're talking about who the best of the bestie. Them all of a sudden allowing him to say whatever he want to say in his records about how great he is and then bowing out of competition to prove how great he is corny as shit. Then coming to people like me knowing that I'm gonna have thoughts about it, talking about you're hating on him. Nigga, you are a bitch. You comfortable listening to niggas gaslight you. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That's just weirdo shit. Like, what are you talking about? It didn't sit right with his spirit. That's fire. You let that happen. But your fan base not about to get away with that. And neither are you. Because he tried the same shit. He tried to do the same thing. With the whole, I'm above it now. Nah, nigga, that's not how it go. Keep the same energy. Drake had a problem with Control Verse and said that shit's not cool to sneak diss, then literally sneak dissed for a decade, lost the beef, and is now suing. No, that's not what Drake said. What Drake said was, if you're gonna diss me, let it be something real. I don't want it to be competition, or I don't want it to be off the veil of clout chasing shit. And I can see how somebody could interpret the whole Control Verse as clout chasing. Because at the end of the day, Kendrick didn't have a problem with nobody that was on those records. And regardless of whatever people want to say, that wasn't what revived the competition in hip hop. It was just shocking that he said what he said. Now we are a decade later and they actually have a real problem. Now people are looking at it like, damn, nah, that was nuts. I didn't even know it could get like that, blah, blah, blah. People calling this the best hip hop beef in all of history, whatever the case is. When you actually have an issue with niggas, that's when it's going to be at its peak. Not when you know what I'm saying? Oh, we just got to play around. Like, if that's the point, if that's what you're doing, then it's pointless. Have a real issue. At least that's when I feel it's at its best. I'm not saying his opinion on it is definitive, but at the end of the day, I agree with him. I agree with Drake's stance in that instance. And also, yeah, he probably was emotional. He probably was salty, but I agree with his stance.
Then he dropped a song basically apologizing to Drake and saying how he was going to lose regardless. It's actually so weird when you think about it.
No, J. Cole's timeline is actually something that needs to be acknowledged more and not just so glossed over as, oh, bro did the right thing. That is really weird how people are overlooking the events to just so casually get back into J. Cole mode where he says a whole bunch of shit that most people already agree with. Nothing provocative. People acknowledge his skill and they move on. They keep doing it. And then be mad at niggas like me when they don't see the hype. Holy shit. At the end of the day, I respect maybe some of Drake fans because they got something to latch on to. Drake is provocative from time to time. He's controversial from time to time. He's worth having, divisive opinions about. Kendrick too, of course. But J. Cole? I'm not doing that, bro.
If your issue with Control wasn't an actual issue, how can you fault Cole pulling out for that reason? Besides that, I agree.
Because he put his foot in. His stance was, I see the error in why this is a problem. I would never want to do something like this. I already know where this is going to take me. And he's rapped about that before he even got peer pressured. But the fact that he participated, bowed out, deleted it, apologized, and then acted like he was above it and that this is some shit that, yeah, y'all shouldn't even be entertaining this. That's what's weird. I have no problem with him having that stance, but you got to be consistent. And God forbid, like I said, anybody that's not your biggest fan say something about it a few months later and your fans try to make it seem like, oh yeah, nah, we can't bring that up. You have to bring that up. Especially when you keep saying, I kill rappers on tracks. I turn people into martyrs. And then I got to watch your fans talk about J. Cole was killing artists. What artists of lyrical substance did J. Cole kill? I guess he got on a song with 21 Savage and went crazy. He was the better of the rappers lyrically on a song with Lil Yachty. Ooh, not even hating. but bring me something where he actually murdered a nigga that can rap. He didn't kill Benny the Butcher. He had an amazing verse. Killed is crazy. Washed is crazy. He sent me the Pie verse and saying that he did better than Absol and Daylight. How? Are you listening to the track? Royce da 5'9", they both equally did their thing. Nigga said T Grizzly. Oh yeah, we smoking crazy good today. Let me make this parlay. Sean, you said Cole had the best verse on Pie in your reaction. That doesn't mean I think he killed or murdered Daylight and Absol. He just would have had my favorite verse on the track. But you also got to keep in mind, he's still got my favorite voice in hip hop. So by default, I'm going to prefer listening or hearing J. Cole on the mic. If he's in his lyrical bag and it's a good song, I'm going to prefer it than hearing Absol or Daylight. You feel what I'm saying? Even though Daylight's got a good rapping voice too.